This week, we are in Marikana, where tension between mine workers and their bosses is threatening the economy of the entire country. We look at the financial and human cost of the longest strike in South Africa's history. And later, Lonmin CEO Ben Magara concedes that his salary and that of other mining executives may need to be reassessed for peace sake. Does your salary make you uncomfortable?
Yes, it does.
This is Checkpoint, and I'm Nkepile Mabuse. Marikana is located in South Africa's Bushveld Igneous Complex, better known as the Platinum Belt, which contains nearly 80% of the world's platinum deposits. Russia, Canada and Zimbabwe share the remaining 22%. Platinum is used in the production of catalytic converters, which form part of a car's exhaust pipe. They convert toxic pollutants to less toxic gases. Although catalytic converters are most commonly applied to exhaust systems in vehicles, they are also used in the manufacturing of mining equipment, trucks, buses, motorcycles and airplanes, so the market is huge. To cut costs, countries like China have for years avoided platinum in vehicle manufacturing, but growing concerns about pollution have forced the second largest economy in the world to start using more of the precious metal. This should be good news for us, but as things stand, maybe not. Continued unrest in our platinum industry has fast-tracked a search for alternatives, from mechanized mining to recycled platinum. Today, recycled platinum is one of the top producers of the metal in the world and has overtaken some of our mines. This graph by global statistics portal Statista indicates that in the past 3 years, we reached our lowest platinum production levels in 2012, our highest in 2010. Russia's production, although much lower, has remained constant, while Zimbabwe is on the rise. Meanwhile, the price of platinum has gone down from $1,700 an ounce in early 2013 to around 1,400 today. So the 12,500 Rand demand has come at a terrible time for the industry. If stability returns to Marikana, there's a lot for South Africa to gain. The world needs platinum, and efforts are being made to find a solution. Sadly, we run the risk of being excluded. Murders, intimidation and violence have become part and parcel of mining in Marikana. Those targeted are mainly workers who abandoned strikes, desperate to start earning a living again. The situation was further exacerbated by the mining company's decision to speak directly with mine workers during a strike via SMS. Checkpoint correspondent Sabelo Skiti tracked down a miner who risked his life to go to work and paid dearly for this choice.
Hungry and desperate after months without pay. In May, some platinum miners defied danger and went back to work. They had received text messages from mine bosses urging them to return. This Lonmin employee, whose identity we are protecting, says he was doubtful and afraid.
I decided to call one of my friends to inform them that let's not go back to work, because I see this is where I'm risking. And you know that every day for the equipment things, searching for the people who's going to work, that is not good at all. You know.
In the end, he suppressed his trepidation and embarked on his journey underground. While anxiously standing here, waiting for his lift, a hostile group approached.
Just don't chase me. You are going to work. I said, no, I'm not going to work. They said, now let's search you. It's you can search me. You can't find any talk card. So, but they keep on forcing.
He remembers very little of what happened next.
Where about 3-4 guys. So I tried to escape, but wasn't no chance. I remember being down there with the sound of ambulances. So I don't really remember what exactly happened that day. So I just saw myself in one hospital.
He was hacked in the back of his skull and on his face and had to undergo 3 emergency surgeries.
They attacked me because I was going to work while I had on strike.
A colleague who was also on his way to work found him dying near a busy road.
He's going to get another operation.
He was full of blood in everywhere. Like the body was full of blood. You can't even say motho o nang le Disney or one. But ola o ka kgona bona gore ke madi fela na tsa go utlwe fela mangata.
He's still traumatized by the incident.
Yeah, it's difficult to forget because how robala fela ra lo like a lot of things, and then first things you see reading or sabor a blood, a fresh blood of someone it's always coming into your head. Wow, I feel uncomfortable because it's not good at all knowing that place or something like that. And very painful things. I was like, what about that same day when I was busy trying to help him there? Those guys were really so how you feel is very unsafe and uncomfortable.
Instead of boosting economic growth, the world's largest platinum deposits have become drenched in the blood of those employed to extract them.
Lonmin CEO Ben Magara tells me he's done everything possible to put himself in the miners' shoes. Amku disagrees.
It does not only take 12,500 for us to solve the ills of our employee. We need to improve accommodation, we need to improve roads, we need to improve sanitation, we need to improve nutrition. All that requires money. And giving them 12,500 alone is not going to improve their living conditions.
But many would argue that improving their accommodation and improving their living conditions should have been done a long time ago. It's been years that Lonmin has been mining here in South Africa, but they still live in appalling conditions.
Indeed, we acknowledge that, and I think there has to be a concerted effort. So if there's one big positive I could give to Joseph and Amku, is to surface the same issues that we've been grappling with, to say they need urgent attention. The companies have not been making enough money for us to even do that. But when we're not digging, the reality is it means there is nothing happening in all fronts.
Many people, miners, ordinary South Africans, always bring up the issue of how much the top executives earn in mining companies in South Africa. I mean, it is in your annual report that you earn more than 7 million rand a year, and that you joined Lonmin in July and got a 2.7% increase in October, and that you, over and above that, got another bonus of 1.7 million. And miners look at those figures and they look at the 12,500 that they're asking for and they say, well, the mine has money. Why is it that they're able to pay Ben Magara the millions that they've paid him and not us? How do you respond to that?
There are many structural defects to our industry and to the world as a whole and the nature of the way the world is working. We are committed to sit down together with our unions, with all stakeholders, and say, how do we find each other going forward? There are things we cannot change overnight.
Are you willing to take a drop in salary?
Let me acknowledge that the salary of executives is a subject of the board, and they rule and decide what they do in that regard. So I would hope that that question is well referred to our boards.
Would you be willing to take a drop in salary?
the salary is a subject of the board, and I would love the board to rule on that.
Would you say to the board, my salary is an issue for miners?
It may help you to assess the pillar, what my predecessor was getting and what I'm getting, for you to acknowledge, because I think whatever I say or don't say will possibly not answer it.
I don't think miners are particularly concerned about you as Ben Magara.
Yes.
All of the executives are earning lots and lots of money, and I think it's a general issue. We're speaking to you as the CEO of Lonmin, and that's why I've mentioned your salary packages. But miners and ordinary South Africans keep bringing this up. They're concerned that there's a huge gap between what you're earning and what they're earning, and they feel that they're the ones that are going underground, that are risking their lives to bring up this mineral that helps you to earn such a nice salary.
Indeed, they're our heroes. They dig, they spend lots of hours taking this stuff out for us so that we can process it and sell it. It would be fair to acknowledge that, yes, salary cuts for executives may be necessary, but I think together we have to find a sustainable solution that is common everywhere.
Does your salary make you uncomfortable?
Yes, it does.
And do you think something can be done going forward about bridging that gap?
I think something has to be done, and this is what we have been doing over years. We have always made sure that the increases of the lower paid employees is a lot higher than inflation. And the increases of people like me, as you say, my increase was 2.3, 2.7%.
Yeah, but that was a few months into the job.
Is a lot lower than inflation.
How do you feel that some miners have died because they heeded your call to come back to work?
Nobody's benefiting from this strike. It is sad. In a country where we have had democracy for 20 years, it shouldn't happen. Every employee deserves to exercise their own right. As a leader, I'm disappointed and I'm sad. And my condolences to the families and friends of those miners, my colleagues who have passed on. They didn't deserve to die.
Would you risk your life to go to work?
I guess every day we risk ourselves, whether you get into the car or anywhere else. I don't think anyone else has a right to take another person's life, whatever circumstances that we have.
But if you knew that it was a life and death situation, whether you went to work or not, would you go to work?
I guess every day it's life and death. You could drive somewhere and get injured.
Do you then take some responsibility for the attacks and the deaths that have occurred post your engagement with the miners to encourage them to come back to work?
Every leader needs to feel guilty about what happened there. So whether it's myself, it's Joseph Matunjwa, it's the community leaders, it's the government, we all have to feel duty bound that we lost a life unnecessarily.
When we return, small businesses on the Platinum Belt blame the strike for a spike in robberies. Small business owners in this area say they live in constant fear. They tell us that since the strike began in late January, they've seen an escalation of attacks on their stores.
Upon hearing claims of a spike in crime on the Platinum Belt, Checkpoint visited Freedom Park in Phokeng and Wonderkop in Marikana, where most of the striking miners are battling to survive. We were confronted with numerous closed spaza shops. Others were bare and unoccupied and in various states of disrepair. One trader, Daniel Waza, who owns 2 shops in Marikana, confirms that the break-ins had become more regular in May. He took us around in Nganini informal settlement and showed us where his friend's shop had been ransacked.
They are not coming every day. They jump 2-3 days and they come. And they rob the shop. Those shop members, they are too high. I think more than 10 shops they are robbed. Yesterday also one of my friends there, they try to break and we just arrive and they just run away. Every time they're starting 1, 2, 3. They came and they take chances because that time all people is there sleeping, you see. They take chances.
So you've been here for 2 years. I mean, is this the first time where you've seen so much break-ins and burglaries?
I saw like these things on the 2012 also, but not like this much. The time we had the people are not doing like this bad. But if they are doing, but not like this, man. There are 1 or 2 shops, the members. But these years, there are a lot of shops, they are robbed and the breaks. And they damage everything.
Police confirm that this type of robbery has become commonplace since thousands of miners went on strike in late January. It's believed hunger and desperation have fueled the spate of raids.
I'm scared for my life also. Because that people, when catch me that time, even me also, he kill me, you know.
Somali trader Noura Ibrahim Abdullahi is still shaken months after a traumatizing robbery. He is one of many business people caught in a wave of crime plaguing several settlements in this beleaguered area. In Freedom Park near the Impala Platinum Mine, his brother's Paza shop was also looted on the very same day, April the 27th.
Open, only the bit shop is broken, it's getting inside people. Yeah, I'm running away from shop.
Since 2012, the Northwest Province's Platinum Belt has become synonymous with violence, intimidation and disorder. Crimes directed at businesses are also on the increase. Residents tell us that these include both nighttime break-ins, where stock is stolen, as well as daytime attacks where mobs comprising youth striking miners and even women loot stores, take stock, equipment and even destroy the infrastructure. A private investigator tells Checkpoint that at the Phokeng police station alone, up to 30 such cases have been opened since the start of April. Police won't confirm statistics.
Yeah, there's a lot of shop. A lot of shop is open from my area also. A lot of shop.
How many would you say?
Maybe 50 or 60.
At Nganini Star Supermarket near Marikana, shopkeeper Jimmy Brown is struggling to restock his store.
Most of my men, have you seen now, there is empty, but it's not just like before. So this time there is no money to stock another.
Businesswoman Sylvia Matonzi says she was at home with her 2 young children when the mob struck.
Past 11 to 12 for hane go tla batho ba bantsi fa ba fitla ba re ke bule mo bushara ba batla stoko sa masomalia ka fogare so ha ke hano bula ba re batlang khobatsa betere ke bule fela so kana go ntse ke batlang khia ke ga bang goga then ba mfosa re ke bule abe ba tsena ka go thoko ka fa ba bang ba tsena ka fogare ka fa ba fitla ba kra dilo ka mohara bushara ba fitla ba tsa di everything the equipment so tletse ke di berekisang tsa bushara le nama ka fogare ba fitla ba tsaya ka foteng then hipa maphodisa be fitla yema fa kante ba bangtse ba le ka mohare e be fitla ba tshwara e be ba tsamaya le bona maphodisa e be ba boa ba fitla ba ntsa e ba robula case ine le lantla mo bushareng ya ka gore ba itse yana moraga fo sa le ka tsamaya beke otlhe ke sa duli fa ke ile ko ausaka because sa le ba tsena le ka kontlung ba fitlela ngwana wa ka 11 years ke halla lena a re ba buti ba ne ba tsene ka fa le ba itse ba tlo tshisa ntlwele so e be ke tshaba nna ke bona gore ka se ke be ka dula fa.
In so many ways, the 12,500 Rand demand and the violence have taken us right back to those days leading up to August 16th, 2012, when 34 mine workers were gunned down by police right here in Marikana. Checkpoint's Musibudi Ratlebiana found a survivor who spoke openly about the pain of that day and his support for the current strike. Rock drill operator Lungisile Madwansi is partially paralyzed. He was shot in the head on August 16, 2012, while protesting for a better wage. The police bullet is still lodged in his head, yet he has a vivid memory of the day he cheated death. The Marikana Commission has heard how they all lay there without medical attention. This grown man would have to relearn the basics.
Walking frame. Walking frame.
For this family, it was not only the physical scars, but also the financial and emotional wounds that were caused by that one gunshot.
Mandizisuse ngoba kaloku angayithathi into enobukhali ngoba uthi bhetele asafi ngathi ngekubhetele uba ngewayivela usuke wafa.
It has not been an easy road for Lungisile, but he still firmly believes in the current strike that has lasted for more than 4 months.
Izimali and le platinum asibuni umsebenzi wakho lezo siphila kulo kuba kahle nje basine minerals ezinsingaka umsebenzi wazo intoni kuba la mali sifuna ile mali sifuna ngo2012 ithi yabulalisa abantu ababantu namzeni binda ndiyale mali.
That's all from us this week. Please send us your thoughts and feedback. Our Twitter handle is @checkpoint_ENCA. Thanks for watching. I'm Ngepile Mabuse.